My Aunt Charlotte and Uncle Roger have been in my life for as long as I remember. They were my great aunt and uncle, and they lived close to my grandparents, Dale and Marie Murphy. They both lived in Iowa their whole lives. They got married right before Roger entered the war. He was in World War II and actually was at the Battle of the Bulge, and then came back, and they both had careers. Roger was an accountant for a small railroad. Charlotte was the secretary for a law firm.
I knew Charlotte professionally through the firm since she started. Charlotte epitomized the very professional secretary. She was always very proper, very businesslike.
My Aunt Charlotte was a great conversationalist and always had a joke and a laugh. My uncle was quieter, but he was kind of dry, sarcastic humor, so he would actually take down the house with a comment. They were very thoughtful. They were kind and humble. They always put others first.
They lived such a normal life, not trying to be the center of any attention.
From a very young age, their faith and their church involvement was very important to both of them.
Charlotte taught Sunday school for years, so I'm sure that even though they did not have children, she had a passion for children. You could tell her face would just light up when she was around kids. She just enjoyed that.
You could see Christ in Charlotte in the way that she approached life.
She was sharp as a tack, had a great wit, and was active even up until the end in her community, Methwick, that she lived in.
While Charlotte was here at Methwick, she volunteered in many different things. Charlotte was kind of quiet in her own way, didn't want a lot of celebration around her all the time, but I feel like she liked to contribute, that she wanted to use things that she knew she was good at and help out where she knew she could.
My grandfather was a trustee for many, many years, and from what I understand, my grandfather asked my aunt and uncle to participate in a fundraising campaign with bonds issued for Cedarville back in the 50s, and when that bond came due, they forgave the debt, and from what I have heard, that is what started their involvement in giving to Cedarville.
Even though the Kurigers were not alumni, they had family who were. They had a long history of very modest giving to Cedarville over the years, and Charlotte continued to give after Roger passed away. It was a couple of months after Roger's passing that I met with Charlotte. We bonded deeply when I prayed with her for a specific need she hadn't yet shared with me. From that moment on, we developed a strong relationship that went beyond their giving to Cedarville. I loved spending time with Charlotte and enjoyed her quick wit and stories of their life together. Early in our conversations, Charlotte indicated she and Raj had discussed including Cedarville in their estate plans, and it was clear Cedarville was important to both Roger and Charlotte.
After Roger's passing, I handled his estate, and at that time, Charlotte told me she wanted to update her plan. I had meetings with Charlotte. She wanted to leave the bulk of her estate to Cedarville University, and she told me it was a Baptist college and that it was going to go to scholarships.
I'm sure that my aunt and uncle gave to Cedarville because the Bible is part of everyday life there. It's taught in every class, and I think that they would take that and as of a great value in supporting the school.
When Charlotte and I discussed plans for her estate, she told me an amount she would be leaving. She told me just enough to be sure she could generously endow 2 scholarships. She requested 25% of the estate go towards the accounting scholarship in honor of Roger, and the other 75% should go to the scholarships for the Master of Science in Nursing program, which at the time was still in the approval process. A few months after Charlotte passed, when I was speaking with the trustee of their estate, I was shocked and humbled to learn that they had left over $3 million to Cedarville University.
I don't think anyone knew that they had the ability to give the way that they did. No idea, which is great, and so absolutely them to not want anyone to know. I'm sure that they would like to have been generous without anyone knowing that they'd done it, but they got found out. There's no way to hide it.
As you probably know, our accounting major is really the flagship of our business program. We have the highest first-time CPA pass rate of any school in Ohio, for instance. So what this gift means is just a lot more opportunities for a lot more of our students to do great things. So we're very grateful to God and the donors for that.
I hear over and over from students that they are so grateful to have an education through Cedarville University and have a graduate education that is grounded in biblical truth. And for many of our students, that is so important. And we recognize the importance of not only caring for patients physically, but also spiritually. And our students will leave the program equipped to do that. And so we know that this is his program, and we are so grateful for his provision, and we are so grateful for the Kurigers' generosity.
I think what I love most about my aunt and uncle giving to these scholarships is that it directly impacts students. And they were all about people. They were all about loving people and helping people. So it just lines up in my mind with who they are.
This frugal, humble couple didn't live or give like millionaires during their lifetime. They consistently gave to others without any desire for recognition. However, their generosity has left a legacy that will continue to bless Cedarville University students and those they go on to serve until our Lord returns. By naming Cedarville University in their estate, Roger and Charlotte Kuriger granted us the honor and privilege of family status. We are excited to welcome them into our family as honorary alumni.